let's have a look at our top 6. Anan Matsufuji, she will be out first. Sarika Okawachi, Jaelu Lau, that 16-year-old, Hannah Moyle, Miho Nanaka, and Natalia Grossman.
Now the sport's getting treated more seriously. People are training for it at a younger age, and this is new. We aren't seeing this now as a shift towards.
Absolutely. Well, talk us through this first boulder. This is our lovely 3D rendition of it. What have we got in store for us? Well,
here you can see a good start into a pocket. Looks like we might get a 360 figure 4, something interesting, and then across into the zone. And I'm quite excited for this black hole down left. You have to paste on the wall completely. That top left pink hold has been switched. We've seen a lot of competitions where it's a shaky, risky start and that shakes up the competitor. This, with good holds, you can move quite solidly. So let's see now if that will allow them to get further into the boulder.
Now this is this 360 move you were talking about. There you can see facing the audience.
Dead hang on such a small crimp there.
So Anon making quick work through to the zone. That is the zone hold, the first scoring opportunity on the wall. The best score is when the athletes finish the boulder, they get to the top of it, and they control the final hold. And as few attempts as possible. If you do it first go, you get the best score, and that's what Anon's up for here. This is her first go, the flash attempt. What can she do for this final sequence? As you were saying, no feet at all.
I love this foot paste. It is so powerful in the arms. You have to pull to really drive those feet into the wall. It's really impressive, and she's there for quite a while now at this stage.
See, it's smearing the rubber of her shoes onto that, and now pressing up with that left hand. She's doing fantastically well on this flash attempt. Right into the corner. That left shoulder pushing as the right drives downwards.
Just needs to drive that right hip into the wall. It looks like it was almost there, but not quite. Now this one in 4 really shows that the training regimes are so good. These athletes are all capable of this level. And now we have seen these athletes without so much experience have made their way to a final.
Yeah, and it's an indication of the depth of that Japanese squad. They have so many members, and she is working hard on that pocket in order to make the match. Doesn't do the swing.
Very, very difficult match. Your fingers crushing each other trying to get in there.
Breaking the beat a little bit. The route setters ideally would have wanted them spinning, but it works. You don't have to do it the way they think you should do it.
Really impressive. That left crimp is considerably worse than the right, and she just yarded off it.
So out to the black volume, and this is, oh, the slippy part of the route. You can see that right foot sliding down the wall. Brings a high right foot in order to get stood up.
Amazing flexibility. Many people wouldn't be able to put their foot right up there.
This is one of those boulders where you walk away and you realize your whole arm is covered in grazes, and you've got to put everything into it. And you can see, look, her forearm being used.
Particularly in bouldering, though, if you make it work once, often it's best to just go with that method.
Especially if you're timing it, so you've only really got 2 attempts. It looks like she is going to match. And this is what we were talking about, trying to fix all her hands into that pocket.
Crushing her own fingers, pulling so hard on bad holds.
I mean, that in itself is a tiring move, and now she's got the hardest bit to come. Toe hooks on that volcano hold, and makes a big swing off the crimp. So, high right foot up now. Resting a little bit in that splits position. The wall, slightly different angle for her left foot, and doesn't. So, Jaelu Lau will come out onto the mats. This is the lady we don't know a lot about. No stats to back her up, no real history, and we're just enjoying someone who could be a real talent for the future. And she makes easy work of this 360.
Look how comfortable she is there. It almost seems she just got in the position and she's figuring out as she goes, because she's so strong. She's so comfortable in these moves.
So out to the black hole. Oh, and a foot pop there. It's her IFSC final. Imagine that, your first ever competition and you're in the finals. So she spins. Interesting move there. It's almost a fig 4 style movement. And there is a possible fig 4 here.
Big move across here. Not needing the other crimp so much. Can reach all the way.
You can see how flat that hold is, just using the friction to keep her on. Slaps out, shoulder heavily taped, as you can see. She's so calm and composed when climbing.
She's clearly very, very strong and able to reverse moves, attempt other methods.
Jaelu Lau could be the first person to top this out. She's got further, she stood up, but it's a long way to go. She presses her way towards that volcano hold, needs to match it and control the top, which she does. Well, what a way to announce yourself to the world. So Hannah, straight away, no hesitation, unlaunches in, and that is called a figure 4 in the ice climbing world. Rarely utilised in the rock climbing world, but Hannah Moyle did it to perfection. It's like she practiced that.
Not a bother, and cruising through the next moves. Can she drive those feet in to make the undercut work?
This is a good chance for Hannah Moyle to be on the podium here today. And she needs to get off to a good start, and she is at the moment. This is her flash attempt, remember, the first time she's tried this boulder, and is making easy work of it as she gets stood up. And now needs to look back over her shoulder just to see the hold.
She's deciding which direction she wants to go. Turns the shoulders through.
Matches the top. Hannah Moyle is off to the best of starts, and that will jump her up.
Pull harder on the holds and hold the powerful positions, so could be a very different method here.
Yeah, Miho was watching all of the qualification rounds yesterday. She was out in the sun, and look at that move, one-handed, one-armer. She's climbing a bit like Kokoro Fuji does, a sort of robot style, really powerful, static movements.
That is how you reduce risk when you're climbing. You lock off, use all the muscles, and then that makes the movement more static rather than dynamic.
So Miho comes into the business end of this boulder now. This press move, how are her shoulders feeling? Remember, she competed earlier today in the semi-finals, avoids the rest of the holds, goes straight to it. Wow, look, we've seen a few tops now and almost different methods every time. She's certainly on form. She won in Salt Lake twice.
She does look so composed and casual when she climbs.
Oh, using her own wrist there to pull herself up.
That is some advanced technique there. Micro beta, as they say.
It does help though, doesn't it? It's
yes.
easier than a one-armer.
Far easier, far easier. It is just a staggered pull-up in some ways.
I wonder if Natalia had spotted that before. It was in a moment thing. She's doing well, matches the pink hold. Now having to work as she pushes up. Slightly different method from Miho, who went directly. Natalia using those, both the pink holds. And, well, the record is still alive because Natalia Grossman flashes at boulder number 1. So that is our top 6, which allows us to look at the leaderboard. Natalia Grossman with that flash leading the way. Miho Nanaka also got a flash, but due to count back, that's why she's in 2nd. Hannah Moyle in 3rd, another flash, so 3 flashes for the top 3.
We were looking at the boulder from below. It is very powerful, very difficult. Everyone's going to assume Natalia will flash it, but I thought the rest of the athletes would be having a difficult time. But it was amazing to see how they utilized other methods, other skills to get through.
Well, here is boulder number 2. More slabby, this one. Involves going from right to left. And what were your impressions of this?
Well, the first thing to note that it has been changed a bit from the current 3D graphic that we're all watching.
So she's taking a bit of time just to remember this boulder. The start is indicated with those lines. We've got to be using the same amount of limbs touching the hold as it is indicated by that red tape.
It is actually a bit of a worryingly high jump at the start. If you've not got the strength in your legs, you're going to struggle on that very first movement.
I think I bashed my knee on something like that. It's one of those, you know, when you're running into the wall. But she's on the slab now, and those footholds she's standing on are very tiny. There's only a little bit of surface area to stand on. The rest is quite slippery, and you can see that bit there from that shot, the black of rubber. That's what you've got to stand on.
Finds a good press on the left that allowed her to commit her way onto that left-hand hold now.
And on taking a moment to chalk, she's currently in 6th. So we'd like a quick send of this in order to get back up that board. And now she leaves those red, I suppose it's a crimp, more of a nubbin really. And you can see that left foot shaking with the pressure. She hasn't been awarded the zone yet. Watch for the yellow box down on the bottom left that will get filled up halfway if she's awarded that zone.
Very tense. I think her calves will start to be getting a bit pumped at this stage. You have to tense so hard to drive the weight through the foot to make the shoes stick to the hold.
Yeah, calf pump is a real thing. If you ever climb slabs, you'll know what we're talking about. She's working her way up nice and slowly, not rushing it. She's been awarded that zone now, and there is the top in sight. One move, really.
Trying to, looks like maybe get a big deep press through to the left.
In IFSC competitions, have to be precise with the footwork. So running in, getting stood up, as Dan has said, it's a high start.
Very high start, and actually does shake you up on a slab. You're tense, and on a slab you need to not be tense. You need to be relaxed and commit your weight onto the feet.
Less than a minute to go. The crowd getting behind her in the background. A great atmosphere here in the stadium tonight.
She took a lot of time in her first attempt, which means she's not going to have much time to be doing the same movements this attempt.
She's quicker through, though. She's learned that sequence. That's the zone hold. You can see it written in the circle.
And let's see, is she going to go for the same method as before or try something different for the last movement?
And she's readjusting that left hand a few times. Quite soft shoes as well, which won't feel wonderful on those little nubbins.
Coming up on 10 seconds left. She'll know that time to reach for the top.
She'll hear the buzzer in the moment and have to go. I don't think she's aware of the time yet, but it's there you go. There's the buzzer, and you can see she just had a moment where she heard it.
Pulling so hard with your toes, which is not the easiest thing.
Yeah, the difference between stiff and soft shoes, we could write essays on it. We won't do that now, but there's a whole world of climbing shoes if you're about to get into this sport. So, Sarika Okawachi, she's underway. She's been bumped down to 6th, of course, because of Anon's performance. Watching our competition tonight. So Sarika, this is the moment. She was almost rushing through this, not quite finding the correct beater.
It is the type of boulder where you have to think while you're on the climb. It was shared amongst the Japanese team. Are we going to see other athletes try this, or is it just Sarika Okawachi who is not comfortable in the method, in a different method?
Yeah, so let's watch this again. Let's see if she changes it up. She gets that left foot on, crimping that, just a finger.
In the screw hole.
In the screw
really
hole.
Crimping.
Yeah, you are allowed, if it's on the hold itself. Now she's starting to walk, but this is this fall moment where she seems to set herself up and go for the, yeah. Is she a good slab climber? We are discovering this along with you guys watching at home. This is going to be so fascinating. I have not been in this position before, where we're discovering, like 160% top so far, just because she hasn't done that many, well, any comps. She is out, working her way out left. Hope you can hear the music in the background because it's dropped at the right moment into this tense atmospheric beat in the background. Up with the right hand, crimping the edge of those volumes, looking good so far, palm down.
How she's going through the step through, can she get, she can, she has that strength in the right arm to statically hold her position as she steps through.
Thumb scragging, look at that, the thumb of her right hand, really the only thing pressing upwards.
How is she making this stick?
This is exciting stuff. Left hand, left foot up high, cruising through the bottom of this slab at the moment.
Now this very, very difficult. It looks like she's in the palm. She wants to shift her hips up left, can she?
Well, there is the top. This is a flash attempt, remember? But now she's having to work. Looking like she's, I'm not sure what she's doing with that left hand. Trying to find a purchase on it somewhere. Oh, she's pressing down, that's what she's doing. Her left leg slightly in the way, and now brings the left through.
Now trying to step upright, couldn't make it.
But she's still got work to do here, a minute 44. She has got the zone, wants a top out of this. Her footwork is impressive. If you want to learn how to climb slabs, look at this lady climb.
It is often a theme now with a lot of the world's strongest climbers in competitions. You see them do the powerful overhanging boulders, but actually they're also amazing on slabs.
Yeah, every comp, the route setters utilize a slab in some way, and this is our final slab. But they've built it up really with those volumes, created their own slab, which means they can play with the more vertical section above them. What footwork from Jaylu's out. And this is where she struggled before.
Finding that, trying to get through onto the other side. You can imagine drawing a line between her right hand and her left foot, and she needs to get her hips across through that line, which is so difficult and powerful. And it looks like she's acknowledged that and is now seeing if she can attempt another method.
38 seconds, and that's what she's having to work with. There's not a lot on those. Crimping the boulder there.
Looks like she's going dynamically.
She is popping up and wasn't far off. So Hannah choosing a different method rather than that running jump start. Looks a little safer like this, but slower, as you can see.
Much slower, crimping that edge, but you saw that right toe roll to the left, which you don't want, but she does have the ability to stick on, and now she's in the safe zone, at least for the next 10 seconds.
So Hannah begins her journey left, chalking up, crimping the edge of the volume. It's totally allowed to do. There's not a lot on it in order to do that. Right foot through, and look, just the fingers crimping that nubbin hold. Those black things underneath the hold, no texture on those.
No texture on those. They were originally designed to stop people using the undercut of the hold, but I think it's so bad anyway, they're just best to be ignored.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. Hannah, though, coming closer to a top. Will this be another flash? That right foot's problematic, but it doesn't matter because she comes in with the left. Tops out, 2 out of 2 for Hannah Moyle. And Miho taking the run up. Hannah's method, I mean, works, but I think that's the better way.
Yeah, it is sometimes a bit of a personal preference. I know I've spoken to athletes who say that a jump at the start of the slab just shakes them up and they don't feel like comfortable to stand on the feet. And so it's a skill to be used to that. And Hannah looked like she wanted to play it safe and keep in that headspace of being static and controlled.
And that's the danger moment, uncrossing those legs, bringing the left over. And you can see those are the black holds we were talking about underneath, the honeycomb crisscross shape. There's no texture on those at all. Little jib behind the zone.
Just one of those one-finger pockets she's got to work with. Now
Great.
Let's see. Slip with the right hand.
So the run to get herself up on the wall. Great camera angle here.
So we want to see, you see that composure. Sometimes the face just looks like it's numb or dead, as it's like completely, your brain is in your feet at this moment. It's very funny to sort of observe, and all kinds of funny things come out on the face, because this is one of the sports where you just have to think about so many different types of movements.
Look at the thumb in action there with the right hand, and then a little look back to adjust.
Very high on that right toe. She'll be getting a little bit tired on it, so she wants to move, figure something out soon.
Slaps up with the left. And now she's got a hard pull.
Neither has Hannah Moyle. Obviously there will be a count back, but Natalia does not have much room for error right now.
No, she doesn't. Hannah close behind her. Natalia treading very carefully here and going back, dropping down, smart climbing. She wants to do this first time. Nothing wrong with going backwards.
Making that foot match in that lower position, very difficult and powerful. Has the friction on that left hand to use it.
Yeah, that foot jump kind of a move works well when the holds are bigger than that. When they're that small, it's so risky.
So risky.
Right thumb scragging on that hold. Oh, Natalia Grossman goes down place, and the record to flash the whole comp that goes as well. But I don't think we're ever really thinking that would happen, but it would have been great.
The route setters will be happy with that.
So Natalia pulls onto her second go. 2 minutes 42 on the clock. Makes Hannah Moyle's flash of this look even more impressive.
Very impressive, but an athlete who's so good at using all her limbs in coordination. I was very much expecting to see something impressive on this boulder.
So Natalia clawing her way upwards and gets the top. Hannah Moyle is leading the way with 2 tops out of 2.
Her first final should be very excited today.
Natalia Grossman and Miho Nanaka making up our podium so far.
There's a lot of options, but I would say the method is quite straightforward, and it's more power and difficulty focused. At the start, you kind of jump into this bicycle position, which is actually high risk. You have to hit that toe hook first time, and then you have some powerful moves in between. And then around the zone, that's where I think we might start to see a bit of a mix-up if different athletes are choosing different methods, and then a big throw to the finish.
Now with that toe hook in on the left. And not a lot.
Maintains the toe hook.
Oh, makes it stick this time. So she's into the second half of this route. There's the zone up above her head. Crosses through with the left hand. And this is where power endurance starts to become important.
Deep, deep tension. None of these holds are in cuts, so if your body swings back from the wall, you are off immediately. So you have to pull in with your feet. You can see she has a right toe hook there to keep herself into the wall. You cannot pull with your fingers if you come away from the wall.
Anon is giving this everything, and this might be one of her last attempts. She's doing well, has the zone. 3 zones out of 3 for her now. Goes out left. Every move looks like she might fall. Clever toe hook with the right. Misses the toe, bumps the hands up. How is she still on? And now this big stand-up move to the top. 1 minute on the clock. Comes around and makes it work. She just needs to match. Gets it with the heel. And what a climb from her.
You lose an attempt there.
Yeah, it's hard to be precise when you're jumping, isn't it? And there, she's a different method this time. Static with the toe. And certainly better, I think.
Such difficult core tension. And as well, you have to use this muscle in the front of your shin to pull with the toe.
Now we saw Anon, once she got through this initial section, found the top fairly straightforward in terms of route reading. She knew what she was doing. Can Sarika do a similar thing now? So static left toe in. Once again, making that first move look way more easier now she's worked out the beta. And then it's non-stop from now onwards.
It is a fight at all times, and if your feet come off, you are done. So you're pulling with your lower body the entire time, trying to think what is the correct method. Very high risk here. See, she's got a bit of a shake in her core. She is tired after these previous attempts.
Yeah, and those kind of a crimp is so uncomfortable to hold. It's more of a pinch than anything else.
Which is going to lower their chances of getting up.
Exactly. I mean, from a practical purpose as well, it's going to make it more slippy for her and for others. But she launches into this powerful section now. And quick work into these crimps. And that's that finger that's been bleeding.
There is the blood. Let's do the amount of pressure she's putting through that crimp. Now let's see.
Such an awkward position. That left foot is almost too high. Pops out left.
This is the very slopey version. You do not have any positivity, any depth to pull in on these handholds.
So a misstep on her first attempt. Better this time. Left hand through, right on that undercling, bumping her way up. Almost heel-toe camming in there. So once again into this static position. Watch her right foot. Tap that black volume, which you have to have. There's the tap, and she moves through onto the next sequence of holds. And then this is this move. Look, her foot's almost upside down on that hold. There's the heel-toe cam. So her heel pressing into the bottom hold, her toe jamming into the hold above it. And that is a nasty one for the knees, but she's made it work.
Really, really impressive. Quite a high-risk movement. And again, going for another cam. But she is confident and experienced enough with these to just pull through them.
So she's midway through with so let's see what she does here. So right foot on the black volume, same as before at the moment, and there, look, straight into it. Or trying to anyway.
Camming.
I remember when Oriane started climbing, it was a similar way. She'd do things you weren't expecting because she's thinking outside of the box, she's thinking differently.
Now let's see, she needs to make her feet stick. That's what happened in the previous attempt.
Better, more control, using the shoulders to bring herself through. Oh, they're looking for the... Well, look, Hannah's had a good... I mean, she hasn't done all the comps. She was ill at the beginning of the season, then she had some scheduled rest times. Last two comps, though, 7th and 13th. Nothing to really indicate this level of form from Hannah.
I think she was working at very high level for a long time. Before, she was more focused on the lead climbing aspect, and she's done an amazing job of transferring that ability to bouldering.
Okay, sometimes it is just your night, and you get that feeling. If you're listening at home and you're a climber, you know that wonderful moment you walk into a gym and everything, it feels like you're light, it feels like you're floating, and Hannah's in that zone at the moment.
It's a very unique thing in our sport, where things just work somehow. Can't quite tell.
Flow state, that's what I've heard. Never experienced it myself. Hannah will cross this right hand through with a high left foot. That's on a no friction though, and she thinks better of it.
Reassessing what is a safer method. Now it's going to be a big release from that right toe hook. Sticks it though, able to control with the left foot.
Hannah might be on for another flash here. She's even got time to chalk up with that toe hook in.
Well, she had a slip at the start, so this is her second go.
Second go, you're right, yeah. So this isn't a flash, but it is impressive still. Comes up with the right matches, and a quick send for Hannah Moyle will keep her at the top of the leaderboard for now. She's so experienced, and yet she's only 25. She's got a long way to go in her climbing career. I've said it before, but Miho climbs like I would love to in my dreams. She has this wonderful style about her.
Great mix of power and control. You saw that jump outright, very casual. She clearly has done this type of movement many times before.
Making quick work up to the zone. Has a little look down to readjust those feet.
Trying to find the balance position with the hips. She does. Very impressive. Gets the toe hook in now.
Powerful stuff from Miho.
Go. But it is also a suggestion that it took quite a lot of her power, and therefore she needs to be more ready than, say, for a different type of boulder.
So once again, Miho smoothly through these moves. Let's readjust that right foot.
Yeah, now she's staying away from that high left toe.
So changing the beater to center down to the ground. Ah, bump. But now the next bump is going to be powerful. No, she's not. She just brings it through. And a big left foot swap, slip.
Bouncing under and statically coming out without this lock-in from one of the other big footholds.
45 seconds is enough time. You can see she's climbing quickly through here. She might want to give herself 2 attempts on this just in case. Has the beater nailed down now. Brings that left foot up. Got to be precise with it. No mistakes this time as she crosses through, but then a lot of athletes out there. I mean, obviously all the athletes are trying hard, but she can find a different level of suffering almost out there on the wall.
Beautifully put, Matt. Beautifully put.
So left hand up. Quick work at the moment. High right heel to chalk up.
And Natalia has such composure and such ability to think about different methods on this angle and style of climbing. She really does show her full skill set here.
Having to work now though, and this is the big move towards the left. Gets it easily. She's in second at the moment. This will jump her up. Let's see. Up she goes, holds the swing, and another top. So a confirmation of the leaderboard. Natalia Grossman, Hannah Moyle, Miho Nanaka are our top 3. So this is where it all comes to a 4. Boulder number 4.
I do think this could really split up the number of attempts that athletes are taking on the climbs, because this first section is very high risk. You stand into this double press and then a dynamic move towards the zone. Triple clutch is the intended method. And again, another one of those very difficult, bring your hips up through the 2.
And that clock just frozen. It will be ticking down, I promise you. I'll try to get that working again soon. And on in 5th at the moment. She stands up, flicks up.
And she'll be trading for places with her teammate, Serika Okawachi, who's going to fight for 5th and 6th.
The power the precision might not be there.
It seems like she's just not quite finding the ability to get over that right foot and then jump completely high with that leg.
On this final boulder, I want to see someone get into those slopers because they are horrible holds.
Horrible, horrible holds, but I think the next part looks even more difficult. So you can throw your body weight in between and stand on feet and use very bad holds. Otherwise, it'd be completely impossible.
Ah, makes it work this time. Right, we're into the zone. And these are the bad slopers, but she's doing quick work of this, but this end is tricky. It's the wrong way around. It faces an awkward direction. She's crimping the top of it, but it's more of a sort of a Gaston side pull. Working the left feet up and the right in. Frog squatting down. She's one move away. It's going to be a big snatch. Drops it at the top.
Last boulder of the day. You may as well throw another attempt in.
Absolutely. Is it going to be right on the buzzer?
She does. She makes the triple clutch method as well. 10 seconds left.
Right, 10 seconds is going to have to be a big move here. Comes up with the left hand. Watch those feet. It popped before. 4 seconds. 3, 2, no. Not quite. Yeah, look better. Will this be the attempt? She's certainly taking longer to think about it. I think she knows she's close and will rest a little more. Sometimes athletes will almost sacrifice goes in order to understand the body movement required. Right foot out on that nubbin and perfect this time, and then moves that right hand over.
Very smooth triple clutch there. See that right hand catching and grabbing.
So she's setting up for a big move, rocks into this awkward left hand, and now she needs to press with the palm, bring the right foot up or just jump. Either one will do. She presses. Standing up tall. We're going to see another top. I tell you what, that is a fantastic way to finish.
If Hannah Moyle can find herself a top without Natalia, then she will be putting herself in gold medal position.
Calculators out, everyone. This is going to be a close end to this final. Hannah, as we've seen before, goes for the jump. They've got a lot closer than her first attempt.
It's almost a bit famous in the German style of climbing to have these dynamic balance movements, the double, the triple clutches. So Hannah won't be a stranger to this.
Yeah, it makes quick work of it. Second go for her, and then moves into the slopey part, and that's a good angle to show how slopey there are. Now we know the beater, left foot in, left hand high, and turning that final hold into a side pull, using the edge of the wall, clever to get herself positioned. She can do that. There's no black tape to stop her. And there is the final dish. Hannah trying to find the balancing point, gets it, and will match, putting herself in a great position.
Very, very impressive from Hannah Moyle.
All she really knows is she has to do everything she can. So pressing up into the top. Right foot out on the nubbin. Sets herself for the spring, gets it, first go, and triple clutches through.
Amazing, amazing to be able to do such a dynamic coordination movement first try. Such good technique, but can't.
Blue hair matching the blue uniform of Team Japan, who are out in force here tonight. Up she comes, perfect once again. Now, this was where she fell before.
Keep an eye on that left heel. That's where she's getting the power to hold her into the wall.
You can see chin bouncing against it, awkward move, but again slips off the top. So our third place, our bronze medal is going to be decided in the next couple of seconds. Miho, gets the jump again. Now, left hand, right hand, heel hook. What is she going to choose? Goes for the original method, left hand. Looks like she's going to go for a big move. She's eyeing it up with the left, right, in now. No, and drops it again at the top.
One final Hail Mary attempt, but I do believe she's lost her podium place with that final slip.
Well, this is it. She might not know that she's lost it as well. Right, up she comes. She'll want to top it out for glory here. 10 seconds. Come on, Miho. Eyes it up, takes this moment to breathe, that chin pressing into the wall. It's more solid this time. 2 seconds to go. Watch the clock. 1. She's going to be timed out. Who cares? She'll top it out anyway. Hangs off with one hand. Can get another gold here tonight. If she's got silver, she won't want that. How quickly can she work this out? There you go, that's what she needs to do down on the bottom right. Oh, and she slips!
Potentially her final attempt for that gold medal position. Hannah Moyle never have been on the edge of her seat more.
Yeah, Hannah will be watching this, and I'm sure she'll be supporting Natalia, but a gold medal is on the line, and this time Natalia makes the right hand stick, chalks up. Still possible here for this gold. Gets the left, she reads it exactly as it should be, comes the thumb in. This is where Miho had problems. No such problems for Natalia. Pressing with the palm, and now it's looking awkward. She's a long way to the left. Foot slowly, uses the inside sloper, then switches to the outside. One move away. Natalia Grossman tops out, and we'll wait for confirmation. And there it is, Natalia Grossman. Well, that's the confirmation. Natalia Grossman with 4 tops and 6 attempts takes gold medal. Hannah Moyle from Team Germany is in second, and Jielu Lau from China in third. More medals to her collection in the next couple of comps. For the women, they chose mainly